Aloha from the Huntington Beach Surf Museum. We are here to honor the kneeboarders in Southern California. We have the Soul of Kneeboarding exhibit that we've opened up. Kind of explores the different time periods and different board innovations that these guys have come up with through the years.
Churchill's, Duck Beach. Yeah, I think the display is totally cool. I see a lot of boards from the 70s and early 80s when I was surfing, so yeah, it's totally cool. Carl Hayward, Infinity, Robert August, you know, they're all in here. Some of them I don't remember, but I remember a couple of them. I just can't remember who shaped them. But yeah, it's totally cool, man.
That's awesome.
Isn't it?
It's cool.
What's cool? That's right.
I never seen it before.
And this is also the very first exhibit that the International Surfing Museum has had honoring kneeboarders. So make sure you guys come on down to check it out later.
I'd like to welcome you all to the Huntington Beach Surfing Museum. First time we've ever had a kneeboard, pipe-board exhibit collectively in this museum. We're in the city of Huntington Beach. Pipo was the kind of the start for knee riding, and then from Pipo it transitioned to kneeboarding. So you know, kneeboarding just didn't kind of evolve by itself and come out of nowhere. It came from Pipo boarding, and then guys like Romanowski shaping boards for Newport El Pipo, and then transitioning from Pipo boarding to kneeboarding and riding the wedge. You know, just incredible. And there's a rich history there that people need to understand, because ultimately, you know, the shortboard revolution gets a lot of influence from George Greeno, and he gets credit a lot for, or credit for a lot of the things that he's done. But ultimately, there are many other guys riding boards that would still be considered, you know, influential at the time. You know, certainly Double G, as we call him, is by far the godfather of knee riding, so to speak. But there were a lot of other guys like Romanowski and Bud McRae, and you know, even into the 80s is when Tom Ballister was starting to shape and really coming on scene as a knee riding shaper or kneeboard shaper, even though he was been a stand-up surfer shaper since the 70s. But Bob Krasanis, RGK, and the Small Faces kneeboards that were in Frog House and so on. So a lot of stuff there. But we've got boards here that, like I said, that go back to the 50s and come all the way up into the you know, into the 2000s and so on in present day. World champion boards from Simon Farrar's board, you know, all the way back to a pretty rare single fin spoon that was shaped in 1973 or 71 by the Greek here in Huntington Beach. His take on the spoon. So really unique stuff. Old fins, flipper fins, a piece of the old wedge pole. And a lot of old Pipos and a bunch of photos and a lot of history. So that's what we've got here today. Huntington has obviously a pretty deep competition heritage, so to speak. You know, with the WSA and the NSSA, and then now we have the KSUSA. Huntington has certainly been kind of a focal point for that, with the different organizations that had originally had kneeboarding attached to it, but KSUSA in the U.S. it is, as I like to say, kneeboard owned and kneeboard run, and you know, we bring in ASP judges as well as scholastic judges from the NSSA and the WSA, but we primarily try to have NSSA judges or ASP judges on at least, and we offer an event that is solely run for the benefit of the kneeboarder and its sponsors. We do it here in Huntington Beach. It's hard to beat that venue, and you know, and fortunately in the last 3 years we've had great surf, great weather, and a good time, and everybody's really enjoyed themselves. So.
It's awesome, man. I saw my first kneeboard here in El Pipo around the corner that Tony just bought for $100. And other great kneeboards, a lot of good photos, some good information about George Greeno. So, I mean, food, beer, good friends.
Oh, man, will you sign it?
Oh, whoa, I will. I'll sign it for you, but hold on. Attention, everybody.
Slow down, please. Slow down.
We're not
worthy. Oh no, that's on film.
Wow, it's Fred
Rodriguez! I love you, brother. All right. Let's get serious here. If you don't buy a picture from me, you guys owe me 15 waves.
What?
Donation to the Surfer Museum. Asking donation for the Surf Riding Museum. You get my signature. It's all about style and knee riding. That's me. Thank you, hon.
Fred, can we get one of you? Can we get one of you in the G string? Fred?
You will not get. Mikey has it.
I want one to my wife. It says from model rate.
Hand a bit, hand. Photo. 1, 2, 3.
I didn't even know this was gonna.
It's nice to see here this picture of Greg Schumann. I'm not sure what year it's from, but it takes me back to my high school days when surfing north side of the pier, we just happened to meet up with Greg Schumann because kneeboarders kind of gravitated to each other and say, hey, what's your name? I'm Greg, I'm Brad. And struck up a friendship that's continued, you know, to this day. So it's really great to have a great friend who's still surfing.
One single fin, and me and my brother were learning at the Seal Beach River Jetties. My mom would drop us off with a bag of lunch and say, see you later.
Right.
You know, my brother would take off and get in the barrel, and I'd watch him like I'm taking photos, you know, in the barrel as he's... Wouldn't even get it. It was just a ride. You get up, you get womp, you know. Sure. My turn, you know. We just take turns, you know, going back and forth. And
Paddle that thing. It was so, you know, back then I was, yeah, I know, you were 160 pounds. And,
What year was that, Fred? 89?
86.
86?
Yeah.
Los,
You were,
check it out.
how old were you?
I was young.
Yeah, gosh, late 70s. I grew up inland La Mirada, so the only way we could get down to the beach was take the OCTD bus. And as long as you had a board under 5 feet, you know, you could get down to the ocean. So the first board I ever had was kind of like this GNS here, but it was a 5-foot kind of dished out bathtub GNS board, single fin, and that's kind of how I started kneeboarding, is we used to take the bus down to the beach early in the morning from La Mirada. So.
The first kneeboard I bought was a piece of crap. I got it at a garage sale, and the thing was horrible. You'd bottom turn, and the thing would just like slide out. It was awful. It was the worst kneeboard ever. But that's how I learned how to kneeboard. Because after that, I got a Liz Fish, and I had a proper kneeboard.
I know.
But back then, you could just order it from Mitch, and you'd get it custom, and you'd get it in 3 weeks. So I've owned 3 of those over my lifetime, and they've all been stolen from me. I don't have any of them left. And I'd like to introduce to you the second generation of Morrises. This is James Morris, and he is 6 weeks old. And you can see he's wearing the legless TV shirt. So he's already a kneeboarder. And he's only 6 weeks old. Look at him.